the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, Mr. Dominik Mysterio. Dom, how are you? And thank you so much for the time.
I am fantastic. Look at me. Still, your Intercontinental Champion. The greatest Intercontinental Champion. The greatest Mysterio of all time. Thank you, boys, for having me again. Uncle Bully, how's it going?
Dom, always great to have you on Busted Open. And you always great to watch you in the ring, to see the maturity process happen, to see how much better you're getting. The first question that I have for you is, I was so intrigued by all of the Easter eggs and the throwbacks in that match, which I found made it that much more interesting. Can you tell us about everything that we saw that maybe some fans that are not diehards didn't notice about the gear or anything that went on in that match that was a throwback to 2005?
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't really know AJ was gonna do that, as far as like coming out with the lowrider and his Latino Heat style shirt, even his tights. His tights were to the T what Eddie wore in 05, right? So for me, that was a little bit surreal, and I had no idea that was going to happen. But in my head, my thought process was, okay, 05, this is what my deadbeat dad was wearing, so let me take that and upgrade it to my style, my version, Dirty Dom, greatest Mysterio of all time. So I rocked that same style blue, but just Dirty Dom'd it out a little bit. So basically you got, 05 Rey and Eddie to 2025 Dom versus AJ.
Watching your dad, working with your dad, knowing your dad's a great luchador. That's one of the greatest luchadors of all time, if not the greatest. But you blow your dad away when it comes to being an entertainer in this industry. I find you far more entertaining than your dad ever was, and you can do all of the things in the ring that he did. You're probably the greatest Mysterio sports entertainer of all time.
I appreciate you, because you're one of the few that have seen the light. It's I'm just happy you get it, because I'm yes, granted, I say I'm a 20-year veteran, but I've only been doing this for 5 years in ring, and I'm already so much better than he was in every way, shape, and form. Like it's not even funny.
But Dom, here's the crazy thing. I'm shooting. I'm being serious.
I know. It's fantastic. So am I.
When I watch Rey, I know what I'm going to get in a Rey match. I've been there. But with you, I don't know what I'm going to get, and it's so entertaining. And just to hear you go, yeah, my deadbeat dad, like it rolls off the tongue entirely too naturally for you, as if you're like, I'm so much better than him. Why do we even talk about this guy anymore? I love it.
It's just true. I have facts to prove it. There's so much going into it. He's never been in the title picture when it comes to AAA. Here I am, my first appearance with AAA. I'm going for the Mega Campeona. It's facts that speak for themselves. I've mentioned it before. I don't have to speak on it myself. Others do it for me. Greatest Mysterio of all time. Like it is what it is.
And with the relationship strained with your father, and we all know that story. If you haven't earned his respect by now, then that's on him, because of everything that you've done, right?
Fuck him.
Oh, that is the definition of dysfunction right there. But Dom, I love it. I love the confidence. I love what we've seen. Bully, and now this conversation is over. Like Bully just mentioned about how much you're improving. I think at this point, we can't have that discussion anymore, because you are really at the top of your game, and you can hang with anybody on that roster. And we just saw it last night with AJ Styles. I mean, that's AJ Styles. He's one of the greats. What was it like being in the ring with AJ yesterday?
I'm sure it was an honor for AJ to be in there with me. But honestly, Dave, if you think about it, if I'm at this level now, I'm only 5 years in professionally, wrestling professionally, only 5 years. Like, imagine what I can do to these guys in another 5 years. Like, like, if I really wanted to, no one would be on my level. I would eat all of these kids and shit them all out for breakfast. Like, it honestly it doesn't matter if it's the new kids coming in. It doesn't matter if it's the veterans. It doesn't matter if it's the people in there now. It genuinely does not matter because there's no one on my level when it comes to what I do professionally in the WWE.
I don't even know what question to ask him anymore.
I mean, it's difficult because all he does is speak truths. But you're right. You look at what you did last night, what you accomplished last night, what you've done for this Intercontinental Championship, and how you have really taken this Intercontinental Championship to another level. But the one thing that surprised me, Dom, and I wonder if it surprised you, is you have given the WWE Universe every reason to boo you, and yet they cheer you. Here you are. You're in the ring last night with one of the greats, one of the most popular WWE superstars in AJ Styles, and they're cheering you. They're cheering. Talk about what you've been able to do with the fans.
Honestly, it's super surreal because I haven't changed a thing about me. You know, I've continued to stay true to Dirty Dom, my deadbeat dad. You know, we don't even mention Voldemort anymore. So it's like, you know, me and the Judgment Day just continue to move forward with it. And at the end of the day, I'm just doing me. You know, I'm going out there having fun and, you know, collecting gold while I'm at it.
Dom, you mentioned AAA. I just want to ask you, I don't know, I'm not up to date on my history, but did you and your dad ever wrestle in AAA together, or did you ever face your dad in AAA?
Never.
How big of a deal would Dominik Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio in AAA be?
It would be a humongous deal.
Could it be the biggest AAA match, or in the top 3 to 5 AAA matches of all time?
If I'm involved, it's the greatest #1 match of all time. It'll be their biggest draw.
Could it happen?
I don't see why not. If I become the mega campeon for AAA, I don't see why you know, my father, the Leprechaun, shouldn't be coming down to me and begging for a title shot. You know, he's been hurt with his injury since WrestleMania, right? So if he wants to come back and I'm the mega campeon, the Intercontinental champion as well, he has never fought for that title when it comes to the mega campeonato for AAA. So if I get my hands on it, I'm sure he's going to want to put his name in the history books, but he's got to go through me, the greatest Mysterio of all time. So
Dom, I know we have seen your dad, Rey, with a mask off over his career. But if Dominik Mysterio ever fought his dad in AAA in front of thousands of fans, and you ever ripped his mask off, would you make it out alive?
Of course. The people would celebrate me.
You're right, kid. They would. You're right. They would.
You know, Dom, you look at, you know, Bully's asking about AAA, but let's talk about where the WWE is right now. Now, you're one of the top superstars in the WWE, the business the WWE is doing right now. We just saw over the course of 2 nights, you know, 113,000 people at MetLife Stadium to watch SummerSlam and to watch you wrestle. I mean, just talk about what it's like to be on this roster, probably at the best time in the company's history.
Man, it's really, really crazy because we have so much talent, you know, from the women's division to the men's division to the tag to the singles. There's so much talent everywhere that it's really hard to, you know, get that spot and get that position that you want to be in. But at the end of the day, you know, everyone's working hard, man. Everyone's busting their ass. Everyone's in the ring, bumping, doing what they got to do. So it's just a matter of, you know, waiting your turn, getting lucky. I'm honestly very blessed to be in the position that I'm in. But you know, I'm the greatest Mysterio of all time. It is what it is, and it comes with it. But at the fact that, you know, we have so much talent, you know, it's really cool to be in that one of those positions, you know, holding gold where we are right now with the company.
Dom, this new show on Netflix came out, WWE Unreal. Not going to get into that. What I want to know from you is how much input and say do you have on what we see from Dominik Mysterio?
I would say we get a pretty good amount as far as like, they run the ideas by me, and then I kind of will put my own little twist and my own little Domisms in there, that kind of just make it more me. But I feel like they do a pretty good job in kind of like, asking for my opinion. But when it comes to like the wrestling aspect of things, depending on who I'm in there with, that's kind of like, I'm still an old soul when it comes to it. So when I depends who I'm in there with, I'll give them the wheel.
All right, I just wanna. You're an old soul. Depending on who you're in there with, you'll give them the wheel. So, despite the fact that you don't like AJ Styles, you still understand that he's the veteran and he knows what's in the best interest of everybody. Is that what you're getting to?
Correct.
That's great to hear. In not so many words, that's great to hear.
Yes.
Hey, Dom, you just talked about the talent pool in the WWE right now and how many talented wrestlers are on this roster. Is there somebody on that roster that you haven't been able to get into the ring with that you would love to do so?
Yeah, there's a lot of people I feel like, I've never really gotten in the ring with Bronson Reed, I know he's a big boy, but I feel like, we'd have some fun in there. Guys like Grayson Waller. I feel like, me and the Judgment Day could have some really fun matches with the Motor City Machine Guns. I feel like stuff like that would be really fun. But like you said, there's so much talent right now. Like we can literally do anything with anyone everywhere. We can go down to NXT and take it over. We can go over to SmackDown. There's the whole new bloodline going on. I've never worked any of those guys. So like that'd be really fun to get into. But there's just so much talent, that the Judgment Day can just play with.
Dom, you've been hanging around the business obviously since you were a kid. You were involved when you were a kid. Is there anything that you learned 15, 20 years ago by just hanging around that actually today still resonates with you?
Believe it or not, I feel like I do that without even knowing what it is, if that even makes sense. So like as a kid, I would watch certain things go down and I would like I'd observe people, I'd sit in the locker room all day talking with the boys, or I'd be in, I don't know if you remember, but there was a place called Magic with Richie.
Of course.
I would hang in Magic with Richie, so like the boys would come in and out of there. So I definitely like sat there and observed, and I saw how things worked and I saw how things moved, and I just picked up on that as a kid. And now as an adult, like I know when's the right time to do certain things, when it's the right time to maybe go pitch my idea here, maybe talk to the boss here, or maybe it's not the right time for certain things. So like I feel like little things like that I picked up and like just kept with me and tight to the pocket.
You're the Intercontinental Champion, so there's a lot of people that want to speak to you, especially after that defense against AJ Styles last night at SummerSlam. But you said you have not changed. You've had the fans boo you. You've had the fans cheer you. Which one do you prefer?
Honestly, as long as they're making some noise.
Okay, fair enough.
It's the truth.
And I think a lot of the ladies want to know, what do you do? What do you put in your hair?
I shampoo and condition. Everyone always says, oh, you're not supposed to wash your hair every day. Nah, you're just gross. Wash your hair every day. Shampoo and condition. I know people call me dirty, but the people that don't wash their hair every day, y'all are dirty. Dirty Dom is as clean as it gets. That's why it gets the ladies.
Dom, appreciate you taking the time. You could have said no. You could have said, like, listen, I'm the Intercontinental Champion. I'm in New York City. I don't need to go on with Bullying Day, but you did. And for that, I'm thankful. And thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, guys. You guys appreciate greatness, and I will always be here for you.
Keep up the great work, Dom.